What's up, guys? Matthew here, getting ready to watch episode 5 of season 2 of House of the Dragon, titled Regent. I wonder who that could be about. Last episode, oh, a top 3 episode of the show without a doubt. It had that perfect mix of action and big classic, peak Game of Thrones battle, but also some phenomenal acting, some phenomenal character work. This season so far has been spectacular. I do want to say that. Very interested to see how they take this situation with Aemond and Aegon. Different from the book, so I don't really know exactly where that's going. I don't know if they're going to do anything different. Like majorly, not just small, like little tidbits here and there like they have been doing. I don't know if they're going to change anything drastically. I hope to see Rhaenyra not just... I want Rhaenyra the Cruel. And obviously, the history of Book Fire and Blood, it is, against Rhaenyra, you could argue. And I'm sure that things have put in there that are worse than Chesh did, but, I mean, they've completely whitewashed her so far, so I hope we do get to see maybe a darker side, maybe a side that has to make a lot more complex decisions. I wonder if Jace is going to step up in this episode. I mean, I know he has a big moment coming up. Maybe at the end of the season, maybe it's next season. I don't know to be sure, but I would expect a decent amount of build up for that moment. So I am very hyped to see how they take this. Obviously, we're gonna get some more Daemon Scooby-Dooing it up in Harrenhal. I'm excited. I am very excited to see how they spin this. If you guys like the video, drop a like, leave a comment, and let's get straight into the reaction. Aww. Man. Oh, it is horrible.
Behold! The traitor dragon Maylease!
Oh. I don't give two shits about this. We gonna get some peasant revolts? Because they are not having a good time right now.
Mark my words, this is a black omen.
Truly, what an idiotic thing to do for the Targaryen dynasty, showing a killed dragon, proving that dragons can be killed. I mean, that fight right there, just to give a little bit of history from Westeros, if I'm not mistaken, that's only the second dragon-on-dragon fight since the Targaryens have ruled Westeros. That Hugh? I think that's Hugh, but I did not realize he had such blonde. I thought he had brown hair for some reason. It seems that they're going to keep it under, like, a secret, but a whole battlefield saw Aemond attack Aegon. I love this music and these shots. And I love this recurring staircase. Something I loved about Game of Thrones was, like, certain situations, how they changed so much in just different characters, like specifically like the Tower of the Hand of the King. Winterfell, a singular location that changes not just because of the characters, but just because of time. And you can really, you see that location in each season, and you go, this is season 1, this is season 4, season 7. Come on, show me him. He better look horrific. It's your fucking fault, terrible mother. Oh.
His grace remains with us for the moment.
I really hope for the future they give him the Viserys mask. That would be a fantastic callback. I will say. Yes. That's fantastic. I love like realism like that. If you get burned with armor on, it's gonna stick to your skin. That's fantastic. Yes. Show me his broken hip. Yes, Two-Face.
Someone will have to rule in his stead.
You know, obviously, this show makes a lot of changes from the book, and there's not like some of them are good, some of them are bad. There's nothing you can do to change it. But sometimes when you see something that you've pictured years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, come to fruition on screen, it makes you so happy.
I left a meager garrison behind to protect it, and the king's dragon.
Yeah, Sunfire's still alive, baby.
He who has left us after some marital spat.
Do you take issue with me, Sir Alfred?
I do want to say, the best comparison that I could say is that they're treating Rhaenyra like season 7 and 8 Sansa, where she's like the smartest person in the world, is perfect, makes no mistakes, and all these proven men around her are wrong. You know what I mean? It's cheap, if you ask me.
You've seen no more battles than I have.
Yeah, I'm not saying that everything that Rhaenyra says or suggests or does is stupid, but you know, some of the stuff where, like season 1 when she was a kid, she didn't care about the common people. Like she openly mocked them and didn't care about their opinion. But now she's some perfect vigil. You know what I mean? And Jace, come on, Jace, step up.
To Harriman Hall. Retreat with the Daemon. Rhaenys is fallen. To my mother and report his standing.
And you think you will tame him? When the Queen herself could not?
My mother gladly sends you away. To scout, to fight. Play the coddled princeling. It's humiliating,
She
Baela.
only protects you.
I must act.
Dragon seats. Dragon seats.
The phrase. The crossing of the twins. Stark's greybeards are marching south. If his men had a direct route into the Riverlands.
Oh, come on. The Winter Wolves, baby. Show me them.
The hour is late, and my dragon is hungry. You have no choice but to submit. Our terms are simple, Lord Bracken. Renounce the false King Aegon as a usurper. To me. Or your house burns.
The Lord of Bones and Cinders than bend my knee before some heathen Blackwood cunt.
The Brackens were a people hatched out of the deepest of the seven hells, your grace.
I love how they hate each other so much.
But now you see what my house has known for generations. They are pig-headed.
Oh my god, dude.
Exactly the kind of men I need. Then perhaps you could try less fighting and more persuading.
They are unyielding in battle. But every man has a weakness.
You take my meaning then.
I am your servant, your grace.
Come on, Willem. You cool and all, but where's Benji Cut? Oh, is that the Eyrie?
Over the centuries.
That looks beautiful.
Unless, of course, we're descended upon from the sky.
You promised the Queen Rhaenyra 15,000 swords.
You promised us a dragon.
I do not recall you specifying the size of the beast in your request.
Will you goad me, child? When your bread and shelter now depend on my pleasure.
I like Jane already.
What, Mysaria?
I think they may wait to really give Rhaenyra a darker side until season 3, until after a certain moment.
The fastest beast ever known, and she'd have none of him, but bent her neck to Rhaenys.
Ain't the fastest, man. Show me some Moon Dancer.
And with her gone, I must rely on you, I think.
Your Grace?
Would you give this to your grandsire?
That better not. Uh-oh.
Amen.
Is that Emma? Yo.
Sign it.
Alice is giving him some freaky deaky weird shit, bro. I saw some people obviously making jokes about Alice. But I love the very old ways focus on the werewood trees in Harrenhal so far. He's obviously sleeping on a werewood bed. Would be interesting to see if the werewood is affecting him, especially knowing certain things about the future with werewood trees.
And then maybe led Sir Simon.
It's fun. Sir Simon. This is played by Sir Simon. I love what they've done. I'm just so happy. I didn't want them to
I have plied my
chicken out and do like Tyrion on the Blackwater, where he gets a tiny little cut in his nose. No, I wanted Aegon, man.
Leap. The realm will have noticed his absence. Let them hear of his great deeds at Rook's Rest. But now we must name a regent to take his place.
Oh, Aemon's gonna stand his ass up and go straight to the king's chair, bro. Look at his smug little face.
Did you have a candidate in mind, Your Grace?
I myself served in this role with my husband. I am well prepared to do it again.
You played your part admirably in a time of peace, Your Grace, but circumstances have changed. The king does not lack for heirs. The obvious choice is his immediate successor, Prince Aemon.
Agreed.
Dude, he's like a smug little boy, dude. It would make no sense for Alicent to be queen. If the whole point, the whole tangent on Rhaenyra not being leader is that she's a woman, you don't put a woman on the other side.
I agree, Your Grace. It must be Prince Aemon. What would you say if in response to Rhaenyra's crowning you raised up a woman of our own? But the hand speaks with the king's voice, Sir Kristen. What say you?
Aemond is the next in line. Must be him.
I told you, bro, dude. This man he's like a spoiled little brat, dude. Oh, he's bro, that's funny as shit, dude. It's like getting your seat moved in school.
They have grown weary of the sea snake's blockade. So have we all.
Yo, she is absolutely losing it right now.
No one is to leave or enter.
I don't know if it's pure anger or a panic attack or a combination of both, but she is going crazy.
The city's safe no longer.
This is how they're gonna...
There is no food.
This is how they're gonna do it.
Nera will let such an affront go unchallenged. We should make for Templeton.
Don't go there. Do not go there.
Aemond is the next in line. It is the order of things.
You know what he is. What he has somehow become.
What he's somehow become. It's your fault. It's you and Viserys' fault.
Cannot keep us here!
To return to your homes!
We want me!
I told you, bro. It ain't going to go down. Oh, Hugh's daughter's gonna die.
Jason Lannister is marshalling to the west. We need to check him before he reaches River Run. Passage.
And if Stark's army's too slow, the wind's rising, winter's nigh upon us.
Our hesitance does not lie in Rhaenyra as queen. Nations of Lord Tully, the oath. Our fear lies in Vhagar.
You fear a dragon, leagues away, when mine own sits outside your walls.
Don't make me like Jace that much, man. He's badass right now. Stop mewing, bro.
What do you want?
Larys Strong has been relieved of his castle. Does the Queen intend to raise up a new lord?
You want Harrenhal?
Astute observation, Jace. That's why we're paying you the big bucks. You got it. Oh, phrase, man. They never stop, and we love them for it.
My mother will want more than your crossing.
What does her grace desire?
Bend knees.
Oh, Jace. Stop it. Stop it, Jace. What are you doing to me?
I hear strange things from Brackenland, from Stonehenge, and Lambswold, and Moray.
There's news then?
No. What I hear in the wind. Cries of anguish. Children being taken from their mothers, men coming home to find their doors unlatched.
War is a terrible thing.
This is not war. These are crimes against the innocent. Man would repudiate.
Surely you haven't mistaken me for an upright man. The Blackens had their chance to do as I require.
I'm so interested in Alice because I don't have a gauge on her character. Even in the books, she's so... I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. All I can say is history book. Alice's story is unfinished, per se, in the book. So I don't even know.
That full Aegon is unlike to survive. The realm will suffer if Aemon One-Eye rules. You should pray you never meet someone.
Oh, boy.
Lost you no further. I'm sure your tactics are, after all, approved by the Queen.
She cannot succeed, Alice. I willed it to be so. The people who support her will not be led by her. They look to a man for strength. Rooted to it, the High Towers with their scheming. What was Viserys' first true heir? When I take King's Landing, Rhaenyra is welcome to join me there and take her place by my side. King and Queen. Together.
And if you lose?
Then I'll be dead. And none of this will be my problem.
Castle is a tomb. Empty. Haunted.
I am sad to have missed its highest days. Imagine your Hall of Nine filled with lords and kings, all eager to treat with the legendary Lord of the Tides. The wealth you brought back from Yi Ti and a shy, inspiring...
Oh, stop it. Come on, I want a Corlys animated show.
Queen Rhaenyra wishes to name you Hand.
Even the death of my wife does not content her. She not asked enough of my house.
It is a sign of her great esteem.
Or does she think the position will compensate me for my loss?
Pledge your peace to King's Landing, then. Accept it most gleefully.
Rather I would sail into the west and be lost.
You have done so before. Those who loved you. Berenice was not only your wife, not a thing to be taken from you. The queen who never was, and she flew to Rooksrest of her own will, in defense of her kin.
And she died.
She died as she would have wished to die, with honor, in Dragonfire.
She didn't die in Dragonfire, buddy.
Chose. In the way I myself wish to meet my end. I grieve my grandmother who loved me, but I carry her on with me. I will see Rhaenyra ascend the Iron Throne.
Oh, first of all, Bela's making me love her right now.
You yourself may do as you see fit.
That was a fantastic scene. It's probably my favorite scene of the episode so far.
I would make you my heir.
I am blood and fire. Driftmark must pass to salt and sea.
Oh, that was my favorite scene of the episode so far. That was fantastic. I really, as much as I loved that scene, I am okay if it does get, that moment does get taken from Jace, and that is the thing that persuaded him.
Your house served my father well, and I know you will never accept the Hightower claim.
Not while I live, Your Grace.
Oh, brother.
What is it, Sir Simon? Is the pudding now served?
The River Lords have come, Your Grace. They wish an audience.
Now? What godless hour is it?
The wolf.
The hour of the wolf, you say?
All from a man who ordered the slaughter of a child in his mother's arms.
That is a lie, and I will have the man who told it brought before me.
Oh, your man is half the kingdom, my prince.
Know this, interloper. The Riverlands are an ancient place, watched closely by the eyes of old gods and new. No, we shall not raise our banners for a tyrant.
Hey, Damon, get out of here. Oh, great shot. Great shot.
Most people want out these days.
Oh, this is this cinematography is... It's cheap to say, it's not even cinematography. You can just throw me in the middle of, you know, foggy woods, and I'm obsessed. I don't know why. Just this vibe, like right here. Oh, this is I'm getting Novigrad vibes from The Witcher 3. Diana? You know, I've seen a lot of TV. And I'm gonna go more towards like non-grounded in reality TV. He is one of the coolest looking visually characters.
Was it worth the price?
That's it. I want a conversation. I mean, those two are siblings. It doesn't feel like they interact at all. She's getting flashbacks of Viserys. Gonna say something? Aww. Oh, that's fucking heartbreaking. Did she even notice that he was gone? Did I miss the line? Because I don't think she even acknowledged.
What is the mood at the twins? Did his lordship quibble?
He wishes for the phrase to be granted Harrenhal. At war's end, assuming.
I'm proud of you, Jace. You've done our cause a great service.
Why do you look angry?
You chafed at being prevented from action. Imagine my lot. I'm a dragon rider as well, with a war being fought over my ascension. And yet I must wait here. And sending others to fight and be felled in my name. Even you've managed to do your part.
Queen, the tie that binds us, no harm can come to
And
you.
you're my son, and I did not give you leave to go.
You do not give me leave to go to anything.
But who else is there? Rhaenys is dead and Baela cannot bear the burden alone.
And when Aemond comes hunting for you, your dragon is young. Will you fly before Vhagar as Luke did? Aemond will not wait long to press his advantage, and then what? I have done all I can from here, sent my messages, invoked my alliances. Fails, it is I who must fight. Vhagar is big, but Syrax is quicker.
So was Meleys.
Meleys fought 2 dragons and one of them is slain. Fight for my birthright, or shall I wait here until we are all destroyed? I need dragons.
Come on, Jace.
We have no dearth of dragons. Large enough to stand against Vhagar.
2.
And Silverwing. And they sleep just beneath our feet.
Yes, and if only they had riders, none could stand against me.
We're a sheep stealer.
And not from necessity.
There is Rhaena.
Who nearly lost her life in her last attempt.
That explains that. Come on, Jace. Say the idea.
There are those of our line who never ruled. Those who married into other noble houses. Their children born with other names.
A generation ago, or more. Blood will be thin.
But there's blood.
The dragon will only accept a dragon lord
I got
to
goosebumps.
ride it. Also say the histories.
Written to gild us in glory.
Are you suggesting we put a Malister on a dragon? A Tarly?
Rivers, waters.
There are records here, surely, of our line, and of those who fell out of it.
There could be scores of them.
Come on, Jace. Come on, Jace.
It's a mad thought.
That's what. No, it's a right thought. It's a mad thought. It is the definition of a mad thought. That's all I'm gonna say. Is it the end? What was with that long screen? Oh my god. I didn't know if it was finished or not. Okay, guys, that was another fantastic episode of House of the Dragon, episode 5, season 2. That was, I think, man, I don't think that episode peaked as high as any of the other episodes, but I think that there was no bad scenes. I think that that was an utterly fantastic episode. Right off the top of my head, my 2 favorite scenes would be that final scene right there with Rhaenyra and Jace, as well as scene of the episode, something I wouldn't have expected, just because of how little time they've shown, especially this season, with Corlys, and then the entirety of the show with Baela. But that Baela and Corlys scene was fantastic. That was fantastic. And that's what I mean, and I always talk about it, why I'm annoyed with people who rue the changes from the simple book. to a very complicated TV show. There's screen time, and there's this and there's that, and there's so much stuff that has to be crammed into an hour, a short hour. So I like that change of Bela being the one to sort of convince Corlys to be hand of the king. I would assume that he does take it. Obviously in the book it's Jace, but with how condensed this season is and the show is, there's not a lot of breathing room. Even like the big battle that we should have expected for the end of season 2 is probably going to be somewhere in the beginning of season 3. So like I said, even the big moments have to be condensed. So you can't give certain characters everything. But I like that change, and it's why seeing a great change like that also then just makes me turn around and get annoyed when they do make mistakes, or weird changes, or awkward, you know what I mean? Things that, like Kristen not convincing Aegon, but speaking of Aegon, first of all, that scene, Mommy, that's heartbreaking right there. Aegon has truly become one of my favorite characters in this show, definitely. And then I'm not going to go too far because he's only been a character really for like 10 episodes in the show. But he's rising up the ranks in the entirety of the Game of Thrones show. First of all, to start off with, Tom Glencairney is fantastic. Genuinely, he has been spectacular. He's been the actor of the season for what my money's worth. And it makes me so excited to see what he can do in the future with such a... Obviously, Rhaenyra has been talking about the idea that she has had to stay in the castle. She's had to stay in one place. And I will say that thus far in the season, I have been disappointed with what Rhaenyra has done. Not really going in on that complexity, sort of painting her in this bright white light, and how she can do no wrong, and all that. So, as I'm saying, I'm slightly disappointed with Rhaenyra this season, in the fact that she has done nothing while being in one location. But now looking at Aegon, where he's in the same exact situation, where he is bedridden. He's probably not going to do that much. So I do wonder if he gets to a point where he recovers and he starts talking. If he can really have some good and deep and thorough conversations and moments with Alicent. Hopefully Helena. I mean, goddamn, I want a husband to talk to his wife for once. Even a situation with Aemond, I know in the this is a very, 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 very slight spoiler from what we hear in the books. The only person who talks to Aegon is Cole, so I do wonder if we're going to get a couple of those scenes as well. But all in all, that was another fantastic episode. I'm very interested with what's going on with Daemon in Harrenhal, and I like the idea of, even though he's the Daemon Targaryen, he's got a dragon. All these people aren't going to, give everything to him. There's going to be some pushback. There's always pushback, especially in war. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to people's homes and what they fight for and what they stand for and their beliefs, they're not going to just roll over every single one of them. So I do like that fight. And something that I really, really, really enjoy, something you didn't see in Game of Thrones, is the idea that there are smaller houses, and they have their own culture and their beliefs. And even something as simple as heraldry. I didn't really talk about it last episode, but just seeing all the different heraldry is fantastic. I mean, in Game of Thrones, if the Lannisters had an army, everyone was just in this fantastic, beautiful Lannister armor. But here, people have different armor types, and people have different color schemes and different banners. and different formations, and I really do like that. I think that adds so much to the world that you're trying to create. Obviously, a big budget is needed to showcase these things. I think of, in Game of Thrones, it's funny. I love George R. R. Martin, but he's so awkward, and he's so smart, but he says some stupid stuff sometimes, or he like focuses on little things. But I'm pretty sure someone asked George R. R. Martin what his most hated scene of Game of Thrones was, and he genuinely said Robert hunting in season 1, just because of how it wasn't as grand and as big as it should have been, which is hilarious. But I feel like that's something that they're sort of rectifying with this show. They're making these smaller moments feel so big. Obviously, they had the redo of the King's Hunt last season, but I mean just more with all aspects of the show. They've really stepped their game up. Obviously, the music is fantastic. Even at the worst of the worst with Game of Thrones, the production quality was really never at fault. And the writing here has been damn good, all things considering. A couple mistakes here, but nothing to whine about, nothing to complain about. Wish we saw... one complaint for this episode, I will say, is something that I feel like this show has done for its entire run, and the last half of Game of Thrones, they don't really show some important conversations, like sort of reactions or first meetings or reunions after big moments. And I do really wish we saw more of that. A character like Helena, who doesn't love Aegon as a husband, but I would say sort of cares about him, or in the tiniest bit of way, and then whom also I would assume cares about Aemond. I would want them to have a more pronounced conversation right there, or even just something more, and especially because we didn't really get to see that last season. I want them to sort of make up for their mistakes and show it here, but I don't know. My one thing, and from what I've noticed, what it feels like, season 1, Rhaenyra and Alicent were by far the two main characters of the season. Obviously, along with Viserys, but that was more of like he's such a prominent role, but they're like the main characters you focus on. And I feel like they're obsessed with keeping that. With keeping Alicent the main character on her side and giving her the same amount of screen time as last season, when I feel like both of their roles, Alicent and Rhaenyra, their roles needed to take a step back this season to expand to other characters, to give more to the dragon seeds that we've been discussing and or about to see as per the last scene of the episode. Give more to Aemond and Aegon and Helena and Daeron, but to see all these guys, to see Jace, and so a part of the season, I've been really concerned at how little they're giving Jace and Baela, and we even got a Rhaena scene in this episode. That it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. This show, as it is with most HBO shows, is best when there's an ensemble. The greatest ensemble of all time, Lost. My favorite live-action show of all time. Made me fall in love with the ensemble. And it's not just importance, but when done correctly, okay, when, equaling out screen time and really focusing on every character and treating them as their own main character, as their own important role, just for me creates a much better experience than the normal one main character and a bunch of bums. If done correctly, instead of just making you care about one character like a normal show, can make you care about 7 characters with that same passion and intensity. So I'm very happy with this episode, very specifically, because I feel like that's what they've done. They gave Jace 2 scenes that really made me love him as a character, when he hasn't really had that. in the show so far. And then specifically Bela, Raina didn't really... Her scene wasn't really spectacular. I did enjoy seeing her. But Bela's scene with Corlys, like I said, obviously my favorite scene of the episode. And if you would have told me that prior, I probably would have been a little surprised. The last thing I do want to say real quick, I talked about it throughout the episode when I saw it. It's fantastic seeing Aegon with those burns. Sometimes shows shy away from showing stuff like that, major stuff like that from the books because of budget reasons. But I feel like that's such an important part of Aegon's future as a character. That is something that can't be skipped. I mean, even if they did Tyrion correctly in the main show, like him getting his nose cut off is an important game-changing moment for his character. You know, in the show, you got handsome Peter Dinklage with a tiny cut on his nose, and people were expected to think that he's ugly, and people view him as ugly. There's that disconnect. So seeing Aegon actually get burned and injured and with broken bones was really nice. And I said throughout the episode, obviously they have to change stuff for just the type of book that Fire and Blood is. But when you finally see something that you've been expecting and building up in your own head come to life in a way that delivers, like seeing Aegon brutalized in that bed, it really hits, and it really makes it feel like reading that book was for a reason. You know what I mean? And they didn't just cast it aside. So, but that's going to be it for this episode. A fantastic episode. I will see you guys next week. If you guys liked the video, drop a like, leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I also got a Patreon if that's something you're interested in, full-length reactions. But I'll see you guys in the next one.